These newborn babies, the one thing that's really important, this is what I try to teach new parents, is to understand how much sleep they need and how long they should be awake for. That kind of sets your routine. So newborn babies up to about 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, can really only be awake for an hour at a time. You know, they just can't cope with more than that. And a lot of people before they have their own babies have had no experience with babies or small children. And so they think they work like we do, which is that when we're tired, we fall asleep. And as you probably know, babies and small children, when they're tired, they're much harder to get to sleep. They won't go to sleep. Their brains are just buzzing. Because if you think about their brains, they're just developing all the time. And so the more overstimulated they are and the more tired they can't shut down. So it's really important to just know a bit about how much sleep your baby needs at each age. So from newborns to about 6 to 8 weeks, it's about an hour, you know, and again, this is not set in stone, but you know, the other thing is to always watch your baby, you know, and notice what your baby's tired signs are, and notice that. So it's about an hour, but you know, some babies might last a little bit longer. When they're brand new, they might only last 45 minutes before they start yawning and, you know, rubbing their eyes, which is obvious tired signs. And then that sort of increases to about an hour and a half, from about 8 weeks to about 4 to 5 months, and then it increases to 2 hours. And so, you know, that's what will set your routine. So it's really important to know the sleep needs of a baby, because it doesn't really matter about the time. You know, there's some routines out there that are like at 9 a.m. you must put your baby down, you know, and then they write things like, put your sleepy baby to bed. It's like, right, so what if my baby's not sleepy? You know, so it sets you up to feel really stressed, and the parents to feel really stressed about that. So watching your baby, watching the babies that you care for, noticing when they're tired, and obvious tired signs, I mean, we all know, yawning, crying, grimacing, flapping about. Little babies flap about when they're really tired. You know, they're the obvious signs. So watching that and keeping an eye on the clock in terms of how long that baby's been awake for. And it's really good for you guys to know this stuff, because you can then educate the parents and the mothers particularly, you know, when they're first bringing your baby home. They're tired, they're exhausted, they've just been through childbirth, they're emotional, they're hormonal, they're trying to learn to breastfeed. There's a whole lot of things going on. So you are like the #1 support person for those mums, and not just for newborns, for mothers of any age child. You know, and if you can help them and educate them around the baby's sleep needs, then that's a huge, huge help.